All right, guys, so here we are down at what I like to call my little redneck woodshed. So I have a lot of trees on my property. You saw the trail we came down, so cleared lots of trails like that around here, which means lots of firewood to cut down and season and split. And then once I split it, obviously I wanted a place for it to stay dry, so I came up with this solution down here. So I'll show you how I built it here. So I anchored off of this big tree in the corner here in the front, and then over here in the corner. And then what I did was I took some of my logs that I had here and I buried them about 2 to 3 feet each, probably 3 feet each. We don't get a lot of heavy frost here, so they don't really heave much here in Tennessee. But then on the back, I would have notched them. And then in the back, I have one in the corner and one in the middle for support, and then one over on that side. So how I built it was I actually, the stringers that I have across the top for the ceiling joists were actually left over from the cement job on my driveway. So I repurposed those. And then for the ceiling, you can see that it's just all built out of pallets. So when I was at the dump taking back the trash, I just was loading up on the pallets that they had there. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 rows, 4 pallets each, so 8 pallets make up the ceiling in this. And then I also just had extra scrap 2x4s and lumber laying around, so I kind of filled in the extra areas where I didn't have, where I wanted like a walkway and things down the center with extra boards I had laying around. So overall, that's the structure of it. And then as far as the sides, I'll show you what I did, because you can find these at your local power sports dealers and stuff. But you can kind of see the back frame that I have all the way around. And that is just one Can-Am side-by-side crate frame. So it's even, I even left a bunch of the plastic on there from the Can-Am. And that kind of gives me, I still got good airflow throughout the bottom to get to the wood, but that gives me, you know, half of it's covered up top to help keep the wind-driven rain out of there. And that's what the whole thing looks like. So overall, the only thing I spent money on to build this was the tarp, which is an expensive. I have actually 2 tarps up there. One covers 3/4 of it, and then I had to use another one to cover the majority of the front of it. But it was a cheaper solution than a tin roof, and I couldn't find any old tin at the time. But man, that'd be ideal. If I can ever find some tin, I'll replace that tarp. But I got a heavier duty UV tarp from Harbor Freight. So in total, I probably spent about $50 for both of those tarps. So this whole thing cost me $50 and a bunch of sweat. That's about it. So works out great in here. I still got tons of room. All this wood in here that I got stacked up on pallets, and then part of these are actually like double row back there. But all these little pieces from my fire pit, and then I got a nice big log here that I split my wood on once it's dry, and then gives me a little extra spot to store my trailer and all those goodies. So I also, you'll see my other video, I cut a bunch of kindling in my vise, and I just usually store all my extra boxes of kindling down here out of the way. A few yard tools that I use down here from time to time, an old ladder that I used when I was building it that I never quite got up there, some old sawhorses. So kind of doubles as kind of a backyard little outdoor shop as well. So hey, I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun building it, and you know, when I was researching what I wanted to build for my outdoor shed, I didn't see too many videos on what people did, and I always like to find ways of making things for free or inexpensive whenever possible. So